Cheese has a long and varied history, with origins that can be traced back thousands of years. Cheese is believed to have appeared in the Neolithic period, about 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, when humans began to domesticate animals and obtain milk from cows, goats, and chisels. One of the reasons fonts appeared was the need for long-term milk storage in dry climates, when milk could spoil quickly. Cheese is a type of dairy product produced in a range of flavors, textures, and forms by coagulation of the milk protein casein. It comprises proteins and fat from milk, usually the milk of cows, buffalo, goats, or sheep. Over 1,000 types of cheese exist, produced in various countries. Their styles, textures, and flavors depend on the origin of the milk, whether they have been pasteurized, the butterfat content, the bacteria and mold, the processing, and how long they have been aged. Cheese is valued for its portability, long shelf life, and high content of fat, protein, calcium, and phosphorus. Cheese is more compact and has a longer shelf life than milk. Hard cheeses, such as Parmesan, last longer than soft cheeses. With its diversity and many applications in life, cheese has gradually become known and increasingly popular around the world. Europe is considered the cradle of cheese-making, with countries such as France, Italy, the Netherlands, Germany, and Switzerland famous for their distinctive cheeses. These cheeses are not only served in daily cuisine, but are also cultural and commercial symbols of these countries. In addition to Europe, cheese also appears in Middle Eastern and Asian cultures, although the cheese-making process in these regions may differ from that in Europe. For example, feta cheese in Greece, labneh cheese in the Middle East, and paneer cheese in India are popular cheeses in these regions. In the 19th century, the cheese industry developed strongly thanks to inventions in food processing technology. Cheese is produced on a larger scale, and pasteurization methods help extend shelf life and increase product safety. During the 20th century, industrial cheeses such as processed cheese began to become popular, especially in North America and Western countries. These cheeses are easy to use and can be stored for a long time. In 2021, world production of cheese from whole cow milk was 22.2 million tons, with the United States accounting for 28% of the total, followed by Germany, France, Italy, and the Netherlands as secondary producers. Today, cheese is not only a traditional dish, but also an important part of the global food industry. Cheeses such as cheddar, mozzarella, brie, parmesan, and Gouda are widely consumed around the world and continue to be popular ingredients in many dishes. France, Iceland, Finland, Denmark, and Germany were the highest consumers of cheese in 2014, averaging 25 kilograms per person per annum. Cheese production is a delicate process and requires precision in each step to create a high-quality final product. So, how is cheese mass produced? Let's continue watching the video. Harvesting milk is the main raw material for cheese production. Cow, goat, or sheep milk is commonly used. After being harvested, milk will be taken to the factory for processing. Small cheese factories accept either morning milk, which is richer, evening milk, or both. Because it is generally purchased from small dairies which don't pasteurize, this milk contains the bacteria necessary to produce lactic acid, one of the agents that triggers curdling. The cheesemakers let the milk sit until enough lactic acid has formed to begin producing the particular type of cheese they're making. Depending on the type of cheese being produced, the cheesemakers may then heat the ripening milk. This process differs slightly at large cheese factories, which purchase pasteurized milk and must consequently add a culture of bacteria to produce lactic acid. Separating the curds from the whey. The next step is to add animal or vegetable rennet to the milk, furthering its separation into curds and whey. Once formed, the curds are cut both vertically and horizontally with knives. In large factories, huge vats of curdled milk are cut vertically using sharp, multi-bladed wire knives reminiscent of oven racks. The same machine then agitates the curds and slices them horizontally. If the cutting is done manually, the curds are cut both ways using a large two-handled knife. Soft cheeses are cut into big chunks, while hard cheeses are cut into tiny chunks. After cutting, the curds may be heated to hasten the separation from the whey, but they are more typically left alone. When separation is complete, the whey is drained. Pressing the curds. Moisture must then be removed from the curds, although the amount removed depends on the type of cheese. For some types with high moisture contents, the whey draining process removes sufficient moisture. Other types require the curds to be cut, heated, and/or filtered to get rid of excess moisture. To make cheddar cheese, for example, cheesemakers cheddar or finely chop the curd. To make hard, dry cheeses such as Parmesan, cheesemakers first cheddar and then cook the curd. Regardless, if the curds are to be aged, they are then put into molds. Here, they are pressed to give the proper shape and size. Soft cheeses such as cottage cheese are not aged. Wrapping natural cheese. Some cheeses may develop a rind naturally as their surfaces dry. Other rinds may form from the growth of bacteria that has been sprayed on the surface of the cheese. Still, other cheeses are washed, and this process encourages bacterial growth. In place of or in addition to rinds, cheeses can be sealed in cloth or wax. For local eating, this may be all the packaging that is necessary. However, large quantities of cheese are packaged for sale in distant countries. Such cheeses may be heavily salted for export, such as Roquefort, or sealed in impermeable plastic or foil. Aging the cheese. At this stage, the cheese may be inoculated with a flavouring mould, bathed in brine, or wrapped in cloth or hay, before being deposited in a place of the proper temperature and humidity to age. Some cheeses are aged for a month, some for up to several years. Aging sharpens the flavour of the cheese. For example, cheddar aged more than 2 years is appropriately labelled extra sharp. Making and wrapping processed cheese. Edible yet inferior cheeses can be saved and made into processed cheese. Cheeses such as Emmental, commonly called Swiss, Gruyere, similar to Swiss, Colby or cheddar are cut up and very finely ground. After this powder has been mixed with water to form a paste, other ingredients such as salt, fillers, emulsifiers, preservatives and flavourings are added. The mixture is then heated under controlled conditions. While still warm and soft, the cheese paste is extruded into long ribbons that are sliced. The small sheets of cheese are then put onto a plastic or foil sheet and wrapped by a machine. Packaging and distribution. Once the aging process is complete, if applicable, the cheese will be packaged and stored in cold conditions to maintain quality. The cheese products are then distributed to the market. In this video, I'm happy to share with you the amazing Oreo cake and the fun process of making it. Thank you for taking your valuable time to watch the video. If you like it, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to the channel to motivate me to make the next great videos. Once again, thank you very much and see you in the next videos. Wishing you always happy and full of energy.